Hello, hello. Welcome. This is Take What Rings True. I am Teresa Micheletti, and the whole idea of this is to share spiritual knowledge that I have from years of collecting spiritual knowledge and also from angels. So, this talk today is going to be about flowing through what your soul has chosen for your karma. And karma is just balance. So we write a chart. You may believe everything I say or some things I say. Let the things you don't believe just drop away. We write a chart of experiences we would like during life. And then we have a balance of experiences. For example, my friend Jean was very tall in many lifetimes and made fun of people who were short. So to have balance in this lifetime, Gene is short, so he can experience what that's like. I had a hypnosis client who was very sweet, but you would say homely. She had crooked teeth, and one was not white at all. It was a little rotten, and her hair was sort of mousy and not all put together. Her clothes were nice, but not beautiful. Well, in a past life, quite recently, she had been the most beautiful people in all of the area, and people would take care of her. They would provide housing for her for free. They would give her food. They would do everything for her, and she did not appreciate it at all. She was rather rude to people, but because she was so beautiful, people would still take care of her. So the karma, the balance was that in this life, she is none of those things. She is so sweet and so kind and so loving and quiet and demure. But it's the opposite experience of what she had before. An experience I'm having right now is in a past life, I was very, very ill and bedridden and couldn't take care of myself. So in this life, my sister is bedridden and has trouble taking care of herself, can't write because her hands hurt so much. So I am experiencing the opposite in this life. I'm taking care of my sister, and in a past life, she took care of me. So that's the karma. There's a meditation that Sylvia Brown did, and I think her guide did a similar one previous to that, called The Canoe on the River. And the idea is that you're in a boat of some kind on a stream or a river, and the river is your life. And you can let the stream take you along and just go with the flow, or you can fight it and get stuck in the brambles and the branches coming into the water and get stuck on stickers coming from the weeds on the side of the river. Whereas if you just like took the oars and put them inside your boat or inside your canoe, then life is a lot easier. So instead of fighting life, try to let yourself flow with it. Right now, we're in a time of transition, so we're stacking up lessons that we wanted to learn because some of us have chosen, our soul has chosen already, whether we're going to go to the new vibration or whether we're going to stay on this karmic path and learn the lessons. So if we have chosen to go to ascend to the 5D or whatever it's going to be called, the angels call it the becoming. It's a new space that isn't created yet. It's just there right now, a blank slate. So if we've chosen to go to this new vibration, then we want to get all the brownie points we can by doing as many lessons as we can. So our karmic path is coming to a close if we've chosen to go to the higher vibration. And we want to get all the points we can so that we can have a higher perfection level on the other side, or heaven. For instance, on the other side, there are some areas that you cannot even see. They're invisible. It's like a different vibration that has a special library, has special buildings that you can experience if you're at that level. So we go into life to experience for God. If you don't believe that it's God, maybe you believe it's a universe, or maybe you believe it's the great collective, whatever you call it, that's fine. My belief is that there is a God, and we chose to experience for our God, which is why we came into life. And we also experience for ourselves and perfect. Now, some people, as my friend Francine would say, some people have chosen a bucket full of experiences, and other people have chosen a thimble full. None is wrong. Some people don't experience coming into life at all. As Francine would say, they just sit by a tree and they're just content as they are. Well, God created so many different kinds of people, all unique. And if you're one of the ones who wants a bucket full of experiences, then you're trying to add your experience, your karmic information to your gathering of knowledge from this lifetime. And because of that, we're coming up against a lot of emotions and a lot of upheaval in our life. So stop and reflect sometime during the day. It's been suggested maybe 9 o'clock at night, whatever time you choose, but take some time to be aware and notice your emotions, notice the experiences you're going through. And as I tell my clients, once you've done that, let the emotion go. Been there, done that. Don't swirl in the negativity. If someone's betrayed you or been unjust or unfair, okay, that happened. Life is not fair. So examine the emotions of it. What did you learn from it? And then let it go. Righteous anger is fine. If you need to confront somebody and tell them that's not acceptable behavior, I don't want you doing that again, go ahead, tell them that. But don't swirl in that feeling and replay that situation and that experience over and over and over again. If you don't let it go, it makes you sick. It creates blocks in your journey of life. You stuff it down and hide it and keep that experience hidden away in your body, and it affects you. So examine the experiences you're going through. Examine the emotions. What other emotions are like that have happened in your life? And then let it go. If you can't let it go, then hit a pillow. Do a primal scream. A primal scream is like you go into a closet, or you're driving by yourself, or out in a field, or I just do it mentally in my head. You scream at the top of your lungs, and it makes you feel better. You've let out the emotion of whatever it was that's bothering you. Even if you don't know what's bothering you, if you do a primal scream, it can make you feel so much better. Try it. Go into a closet and scream. Scream when you're on the freeway. Or just do it in your head. Just hear yourself screaming. And then let some of that emotion go. Write a letter. Write a letter to the person who's bothering you, who's been unjust, who's been unfair. Don't mail it, but write it and get all the emotion out. Cuss. Do whatever you need to do. Or tell them how you want to be treated, how you expect to be treated, how you should be treated. You can also write a letter to the universe saying the same thing. This person was just horrible. This boss is always picking on me. I want it to stop. I want him to treat me fairly. I want him to treat me as if I'm the most important person in his life, whatever it is. So think of what you want to write it down, and then burn it or keep it in a new notebook and just peruse it once in a while and see if it changed what was happening in your life. Another thing you can do is think of mentally putting a circle around you and asking that all that's supposed to be in your chart, in your experience, be with you. And anything that doesn't need to be there drops away. And you'll find that the hangers on in your life who don't need to be there drop away. That doesn't mean you can't have lunch with them, but they don't have to be in your experience. Like those people who are always calling you and telling you their victim story. You know, this person's bothering me again and I don't know what to do. And then you give them advice. And then the next week they call you the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. Those kind of people drop away if they're not supposed to be in your chart. So that's something you can do. There are also spiritual tools. If people are unjust or illogical, you can try using spiritual tools. We know all these spiritual tools on the other side, but when we get into life, our tool belt becomes invisible. Spirit guides have suggested using mirrors. So if someone's doing something mean, hurtful, you can think of mentally putting a mirror up facing them so that it reflects back whatever they're putting out. Their meanness gets reflected back to them. Their unjustness gets reflected back to them. Their lying gets reflected back to them, whatever it is. Another thing you can do is think of putting on armor. Put on King Arthur's armor. Put on Joan of Arc's armor every day. Mentally put on armor and think of it as a protection, keeping negativity from getting to you. Or make your own tools of protection. Rahim, one of Sylvia Brown's spirit guides, told us to use a white blue flame. You know, on a candle, how if you look at the candle, there's a blue flame and it's white hot, just really hot. But think of it as cool to you. I make a bubble of the blue flame, and then anything that's coming towards me, people who are thinking ill of me or jealous of me, that negativity just gets neutralized when it hits the blue flame and then drops away, and I don't have to deal with it or worry about it. One time I was so upset and I couldn't get my act together. I left my family and went to sit at a Silmar and stayed there a couple of days. I just needed to sit by the ocean and I didn't know what to do. And then I reread a book called Journey of the Soul and read the part where Rahim was talking about the blue flame and decided to make it a bubble of blue flame that would help me. So what else? I know when I'm on the freeway and people cut me off, then what I do is I have a little routine. I say, okay, I want purple light around their heads for clear thinking and correct thinking. I want mirrors facing in so they reflect what they're doing. And I want a platinum column within them for the rest of their life. And the platinum column is a column from God that brings truth and brings light. You can plant platinum columns in the corners of your rooms. You can plant platinum columns in trees and in light poles on your street. And it's a form of protection. So somebody cuts me off, I say, purple light, mirrors facing in, a platinum column for the rest of your life. Makes me feel better. And I'm not doing road rage, so that's helpful. We choose how we react to experiences. So if you're in an accident and somebody cuts you off, then some people just let it go. Other people just spin in those emotions and playing that loop over and over and over again. And other people Think about it for a day or two and then let it go. So you choose how to react to your experiences. No one's making you react. You react. Be aware. A client, not one of my clients, but a client once told the therapist that they were so upset they wanted their ex-husband to be run over by a Mack truck. So instead of doing that, they decided to give it to God. So think of the universe or God taking whatever that feeling is and dealing with that person instead of you holding in the negative emotions. Breathe and allow yourself to feel the negativity, examine it, and then let it go. You are so much more important than the negative situation or the negative person. Treat yourself how you want to be treated and focus on holding the positive light. Don't allow situations or people to dim your light. If you hold that loop of playing that experience, that negative experience, over and over and over again, maybe it's a family member who's done you wrong, and you just keep thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it, you're allowing them and their situation, their reaction to you, to take up the space in your head and to dim your light. If you have trouble letting things go, get assistance. Talk to your spirit guide. They can hear the tiniest whisper, or give them permission to hear your thoughts for the rest of your life. Talk aloud to your angels and ask them to help you, but be specific. Don't just say, help me. Help you what? Go to an energy healer. Go to a hypnotist. Go to a therapist. All of those can help you. Yep, life is an obstacle course. If you wanted everything to be perfect, you would still be on the other side in heaven. You are in charge. Don't let negative experiences or negative people permanently stay in your field, in your thoughts, in your mind. Take a breath. You are so much more important than those situations, and so much more important than those thoughts, those negative thoughts. As my friend Rahim would say, eject those thoughts. Think of your forehead being a CD player, touch it and eject those thoughts. You can mentally do that. Sometimes in staff meetings, when things would get really bad, I just like touch my forehead. It's like, okay, eject those thoughts. This is a silly situation. Again. We had one person on my staff who would not listen, be knitting or doing something else. And then halfway through the meeting, didn't get what was being said. So the whole thing would have to be repeated again. So I would just eject my thoughts of, she's being silly again. We're going to have to be here twice as long. Okay, take a breath, let it go. The same thing with all the situations in your life. You have karma. Okay, you do. You're going to have balance in your life. Not everything's going to be wonderful all the time. But just take a breath, examine your emotions, and let them go. If you need help letting them go, then hit a pillow, do a primal scream, get some assistance from your guide, your angels, from healers, hypnotists, therapists, and know that you will make it through this life. If you've decided to, your soul has decided to ascend to the new becoming, then you'll do that automatically, gradually. The angels will help you. You're not going to die and then go to that becoming place. You're going to gradually raise your vibration, and the angels are going to help you to do that. You don't even have to think about it. They will help you. And if you've decided to stay on the karmic path, you're probably not listening to this, but maybe you would be, and that's okay. You're going to stay on the karmic path and stay experiencing things, because that's what your soul has decided is best for you. Either way is fine. Whether you've decided to go to the new becoming or you've decided to stay on this karmic path. God loves you no matter what. So try and make your life a little easier and flow with it. Don't go to the brambles on the side of the stream. Don't get caught up in the tree limbs. Just bring the oars in and let God and the universe guide you. Take a deep breath and let yourself move on. I'm glad you joined me today, and I will have another session next Wednesday. So, see you another time. Bye. Thanks.